Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church. I'm happy to be with you today. Here we are in the middle of the first week of a new year. I hope it's starting out okay for you. Actually, I hope it's starting out great, but yeah, you never know about these things. Mine's doing really good, and I appreciate that. I've been talking this week about themes for the year, sort of like New Year's resolutions, or topics, or characteristics we might want to have. I never have found the right word yet, and probably a week will be over before I get to finding the right word. But just nuggets that will make your life better. And the one I want to share this morning comes from Philippians chapter 4 and verse 6. Here's what it says. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He's done. Well, let's stop there. Don't worry about anything. That's a pretty simple statement. You've probably heard it before. But boy, is it hard to live out. Things happen in life that we weren't expecting. And when they do and we feel powerless, we really do worry. Most of the time, if we feel like we can do something and make it better, then we're so busy doing something we don't worry too much. But when we just feel totally overwhelmed, we worry. Now, Paul says this in the context of while he's in jail. Now, think about this for a minute. Paul's not sitting down on the Riviera watching the wind blow or feel the wind blow, watching the waves come in, sipping a margarita or something like that on the beach. He's in jail. And as bad as jails are today, jails in the Roman time were so much, much awful. Now, he says, I quote him, don't worry. He's got a lot to worry about while he's there. He's had his freedom taken away, as bad as that is. I'm sure the food wasn't all that good. In fact, many times, if someone doesn't bring you food, you don't eat. The jails were dark and damp, could catch a really bad cold or even worse, pneumonia. Rats running all over the place, could get bitten by a rat. I mean, an untold number of things that could happen while he's in jail. But yet, while he's in jail, he writes these words. Don't worry about anything. Wow. Well, how can he say that? Well, let's look at the next part. Instead, that's a key word here because it's saying there's an alternative to worrying. Now, let's face it. I can't stop you from worrying. But most of the time, you're going to worry about things that you cannot change. So, what can you do? Well, you can change what you're doing. And that's what it says here. Instead of worrying, tell God what you need and thank Him for it. And thank Him for what He's done. Instead of worrying, thank God. Now let's look at it this way. This passage points to a fork in the road, if you will. You have two choices. You can take the choice of worry, and that's going to lead you down the path of being anxious, being discouraged, maybe in depression, maybe even getting so far as to give up. And nothing along that path can you have any impact on whatsoever. It is totally outside of the realm of your control. That's one path. The instead is the second path. And what's the second path? The second path is thanking. You see, we can choose to be thankful. Well, you might say, well, what have I got to be thankful for? Lots. I'm thankful every morning that I'm alive. I know most people don't think that way, but I do. Because back in August, not many people thought I was going to be. I thank God that I had lunch today, and it tasted good. It's getting cold around here. I thank God I got a nice jacket. Actually, I got two. Nice warm jacket. There are people in the world who don't have that. I had to go outside, so I picked out a pair of pants that are warmer than some of my other pants. And I'm thankful I have that. I mean, a lot of people don't. I have a family. I have a wife who cares for me. A lot of people don't have that. There's so much that I have that I can be thankful for. I can choose to be thankful. And when I choose the path of thankfulness, then I go down the path of recognition of God's power, belief that anything's possible, joy, excitement, and trust. The exact opposite of the path of worry. You see, this passage that Paul writes while he's in jail gives you and me two choices. The one choice, worry, that we can do nothing about, or the choice of thinking, of which we can do a lot about, is what he's talking about. And he goes on to say, thank God for all he's done and tell him what you need. Well, I know that all of my needs are not really needs, they're more like wants. And that's probably true of you. But when I need something really valuable, I ask for it. When I'm trying to think of a response, I need wisdom. I don't need a crackpot response. I don't need a knee-jerk response. I need a response that's respectful and honest and says something worthwhile. When I need a job, maybe I'm not going to be offered the one that I'd like, but when I need a job, I can ask God for that. And it says here, he'll give it to us. And at that point, I can be thankful or I can be worrisome. You see how this goes? This is how life works. And here at the first of the year, I think this is a good lesson to think about. Well, thanks so much for hanging around. If you have a prayer concern or a need, please let us know. We'll do whatever we can as fast as we can. Well, I'll be back tomorrow, and I hope you will too. Take care. God bless you. I'll talk to you again.